Hi, this is Craig, and welcome to another episode of Cruising Off Duty. In the last episode, you saw us pulling into Kingston, downtown Kingston at the Confederation Basin. And the episode kind of finalized with me taking the drone up and showing you an aerial perspective of downtown Kingston and the harbor. If you haven't seen that episode, I suggest you go back and check it out. I'll put a link at the top. In this episode, I'm going to explain where you can go to dock in downtown Kingston for almost nothing as compared to the Marina. And then we're going to walk around Kingston for a bit and show you some of the sights. Then we're moving on to sailing west towards our next destination, which is Kerr Bay. And of course, I'll put the Mavic up in the air to give you an aerial perspective of that as well. All that coming up in this episode of Cruising Off Duty. Kingston is by far one of our favorite cities to visit by boat. People have asked me where they would dock if they were to visit Kingston, and I have one suggestion. The city docks here on the left. They are almost free. These boats you see over on the right are part of the Marina. If you stay at the city docks, they charge you by the hour to a maximum of $8 Canadian. That's right, $8. And they only charge that hourly rate between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. So if you show up around 5:30, then you don't pay anything to stay overnight. Of course, for that price, you get no services, no water or power at your dock. If you want that, you have to go to the Marina. A friend of mine spent a night there and it cost him $80 to be at the dock for one night. Now, he has air conditioning, and to him that's important. We don't have air conditioning on our boat, so we don't need power. We have solar to keep everything else charged up. So we are very happy to have a big, beautiful city just an hour away from where we moor our boat, where we can pull into a dock if it's windy or bad weather, and know that we can sleep peacefully and be within walking distance of bars, restaurants, and all the things that Kingston has to offer. It really is too good to be true. Now, we spent 2 days in Kingston this weekend, and there's a reason for that. A bit of a story, so I'm going to leave the drone footage going while I tell you this story. We deal with Amazon for a lot of things. And with this 2-week sailing vacation coming up, we ordered 2 folding bikes. Unfortunately, before we left home on our vacation, only one of the 2 folding bikes showed up, the one that was delivered by Purolator. The other bike was coming from a different location, and Amazon sent it by Canada Post. When we called Amazon to say we only got one bike, they called Canada Post and found out Canada Post screwed up and shipped it by snail mail instead of the expedited 2-day service it was supposed to get. Amazon, to their credit, did the right thing, said, look, we'll ship you another bike by FedEx to your location in Kingston. And we thought, hey, that'll work. So I get an email saying that my new bike has been delivered to the post office at downtown Kingston here, where we can just walk from our boat. Sounds perfect, right? Well, no, Canada Post screwed it up again, because since FedEx dropped it off at the post office, which is a common practice I've been told, the manager of the post office decided since she didn't know who I was, she's going to call FedEx and tell them to take their bike back. That's right, an hour after it was delivered, it was picked up again by FedEx and returned to them. Craziness. And so when we call Amazon to tell them that there's been a screw up again, they call FedEx and FedEx agrees to bring it back to the post office, where the post office agrees to accept it for me. The only thing is that means we have to stick around Kingston for another day. Not so bad, right? But the screw-ups aren't over with. So FedEx the next morning somehow forgets to ship it back to the post office, and we have to call Amazon a third time, at which point they call FedEx, and FedEx zips it over later in the afternoon. But quite the fiasco. Okay, here's some footage of beautiful downtown Kingston taken by my GH5, which is my cinematic camera. This weekend we were also filming with the G7X, which is my vlogging camera. Unfortunately, we can't find any of the footage from that camera. So most of the dialogue and talking we did during this weekend is all missing in action. No idea why. Why are we focusing on this place? Well, it's Janice's favorite crepe place, and we loved it so much we went there 2 days in a row. I can only assume the SD card from the vlog camera went missing in my boat somewhere, so all the witty banter that went on is gone forever probably. But anyways, at least this camera gets to show you what Kingston looks like. The good thing is, Kingston being so close and being one of our favorite cities, I'm sure we'll be back many times, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for us to walk around and talk about what we like. The SD card that went MIA is the reason there's a bit of a delay between the last episode and this one. I was holding out some hope that that SD card would show up and I'd be able to find the footage. So what you're looking at here is the Wolf Island ferry. It goes between Kingston and Wolf Island, which is a huge island. And it's free for pedestrians and cyclists. There is a fee for taking your car across, but if you're in Kingston walking around, you can just jump on this thing, go across, check out Wolf Island, at least walking distance of where they let you off, and then come back. No charge. Now that Janice and I both have our folding bikes, we plan to do that in the near future. Go into Kingston, get on the ferry, go across and bike around Wolf Island. Should be fun. Okay, now that we've told you the cheapest spot to dock your boat and that Kingston's an awesome, clean city to be a tourist in, it's time to sail west to our next destination, which is Kerr Bay. Now, being in the Thousand Islands, there's literally over 1,000 islands. I think there's something like 1,600 islands, but the really small islands seem to always look like some post-apocalyptic world, like this one. And that's because the really small islands like this get infested by cormorants, which are birds that eat nothing but fish. And when they all jump on the one little island and start pooping everywhere, it just kills all the vegetation. That's what it's about.
Okay, he's gonna leave a huge wake for us. Huge.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Funny, even a freighter doesn't leave wakes that big. I don't know what it costs for him to move that thing in gas, but oh my god, here comes the waves. They're huge.
We.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Okay, we've had an awesome day of sailing to Kerr Bay on Amherst Island. And as you can see from above me,
Both sails. Woohoo.
we got the bow sails working.
That was a struggle. We made it happen just for you.
The furling rope still frayed, but we got it inside the drum and working. So it takes a little jimmying back and forth, but eventually gets working. We're gonna have to fix it, but I found out the furling rope is actually attached inside the drum. So somebody said on the comments that the only way to get a new line attached inside there is to actually take the mast off and pull the drum out.
Like to do.
That's not something we're gonna probably do until the off season. So we'll fix it then, I guess. Hopefully we can keep making it work this way. Anyway, that's it for now.
Okie dokie. So we're almost at Ker Bay. I'm just almost done my first Roman Coke of the day. I'm going to go up to the bow and get ready to anchor.
Yeah, we're not gonna have sun for much longer.
No, the clouds are rolling in quick.
So there's Ker Bay.
There's a bunch of boats already, so maybe we'll meet somebody new.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll party.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is our first time there, so we're not sure. Looks pretty small, and there's a lot of boats there.
It's deep though. It's deep. Like I'm
just worried we're gonna be jammed in.
Far.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Bye for now. Okay, we're here. We sailed here. Great sail. So as soon as we get here, it starts to look like caca. A little bit of rain, look like it's in the background there. But we're here for the first time. Kerr Bay. As you can see, there's a bunch of boats already here. So not much to do though, looking around. It's not like we got those folding bikes. We want to go to shore and look around, but as you can see, it's pretty much farm country. It's trees, 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 trees.
There's no shore access point.
There's no really shore access point. There's a road over there, you see a truck going by, and there's a farm. But yeah, maybe tomorrow if it's calm, I'll put the drone up from the boat and fly around, but I don't think we're gonna go land exploring. No. Not here. So maybe our next stop, Wapoose, which is wine country. So that might be fun. What do you think, Janice? Wine country?
I don't like wine, but yes.
But there's cider.
Cider.
Yes.
Okay.
Cider country.
Good.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow if it's not raining. Say bye for now.
Bye.
The next day was a little less windy, so I got my Mavic up, took off from my boat, which is something I try to avoid doing, but there was just no way to go to shore. Okay, at this point you're probably thinking I'm just trying to get a slow pan of the boat, but actually I'm trying to get over to the side that I have to land on the boat. As you can see, the boom has to swing way out to the right because the only spot on my boat that's actually flat is right underneath the boom. And the extra challenge about landing on a sailboat versus a powerboat is all those shrouds, those wires hanging down from the mast all over the place. You got to avoid them. I usually prefer to take off and land my drone from the shore, but since there was really no area for me to go to the shore in my dinghy, I had to land on my boat. This can be challenging when it's windy. Not only is the drone pushed around by the wind, but so is the boat, so you have a moving target. The other option, instead of trying to hit that little spot, is to hand catch it. Unfortunately, the Mavic doesn't have much in the way of landing gear for you to grab from underneath, so you sort of have to put your hands up pretty close to the prop. Of course, with a little effort, I nailed it, but I wouldn't want to do it on a super windy day. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cruising Off Duty. If you did, you can help with the channel by giving it a thumbs up. In the next episode, we head to Wapoose, which is wine and cider country. We bike around on our new folding bikes, and while we're out biking around, we almost lose our sailboat. A freak windstorm with gusts up to 40 knots caused our anchor to give way, and our boat ended up sailing on its own out into Lake Ontario. You're going to want to see this, so subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you safe cruising.